Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Kazouza Hamra. In today's episode, we are sitting down with someone who is a health and wellness specialist, online strength trainer, and a nutritionist coach. It's none other than Nadine Babinsir. Nadine, it's so nice to see you after all these years. Before we get into who you are, I just have to share with the audience that we have a background. It's a funny, interesting background. So she was my student many, many years ago. Amazing student, by the way. I'm going to talk more about that later on because I swear this girl was like destined to succeed. And also the irony of it is she was my student and I never knew that your dad and my dad were actually very good friends back from Syria all the way to the US. And I knew your dad as a kid when I was a teenager. And then at graduation, I see her with her dad. And I'm like, hold up. And then your dad was at my wedding. I know he was there with your mom. And I'm like, how freaking crazy. And what a small world it is. Full circle moment for sure. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Nadine, as Noura mentioned. I am 24 years old, born and raised in New Jersey. I am Syrian and Palestinian. Woo! I am an online strength trainer, nutrition coach, and health and wellness coach. I've been strength training and really just into health and wellness my whole life, but I really got into the strength training and nutrition aspect for about 5 years now.
All right, so welcome, Nadine. One, I love your glasses. Now, are they red because it's Kazouza Hamra? Hala! No, they look really, really good.
Thank you.
So, funny story. What I remember from you when you were in class, right? When I had you as a student, you were a medical arts student. You were like all about the medical field. And I remember more specifically, you wanted to become like a dermatologist. And I remember you designed this entire clinic. Like you were the real deal. Like you were really thinking about the aesthetics point of view. You were like, my customer, my patients will come into this, like in this area. They will sit here. They will experience this. So I thought for sure after high school, you were going to become a dermatologist because you had the whole game plan set up.
I love that. That was one of my favorite projects. One thing about me is if I love it, I pour my all into it. It was like a 3D model. I had a Lush like face mask bar with actual face masks from Lush in that diagram. And I did want to be a dermatologist because I had found that there was like a pain point for me. I didn't have the best skin, and naturally everything that we have a pain point with becomes kind of something that we're passionate about. Right. And after I graduated, I went to school for something completely different because it didn't feel that it resonated with me anymore. I wasn't very passionate about it. So I went in for finance, actually.
Interesting. Okay.
That was because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that business was always going to be there. We always need financial analysts, and it felt like a safe choice. And by the senior year of college, that was when I found strength training and I got into the gym. And just a couple months into that, and I knew that that was what I was meant to be doing, to help people, to make change. I want to focus on not surface level change, more so transformation from within and changing our lives. When it comes to strength training and nutrition, these impact every other area of our lives, from our work to our relationships. And to me, all that matters is being able to help people in the same way that I helped myself and transformed my life.
Right. Well, it's interesting because during your teenage years, many teenagers struggle with acne, right? So definitely is a pain point for so many teenagers. Teenage years, they're actually known as the ugly years. Even though teenagers may not think that they are, but they really are, because that's when you get all the pimples, you're sweating a lot, you're trying to understand your body because you have all these changes going on, right? Especially when you hit puberty. So I think back when I was in school, I also had like, my issue was a little different, but I did relate to skin. I was very hairy.
Me too.
So like, listen, if you know, I mean, I don't know if I guess because
it's where we come from.
It's where we come from. But alhamdulillah, because we do have that thick, luscious hair that everybody freaking wants. We have it naturally, right? But I remember I struggled so much with being hairy. Now, when I lived in Syria, I learned at a very young age, I think by 9, I was already waxing. Like I already knew how to wax. They taught me how to do it. But then here, back then, waxing wasn't like kind of readily available. It was something I only associated with back home. Mm-hmm. And my mom, I remember she would make it from scratch. But then at that point, it became too painful. And who wants to have their mom wax them because they're gonna hurt you anyway? They're not gonna feel it. So I struggled with that. So I started shaving and it destroyed my skin. When I tell you, I am so against shaving.
Really?
Destroy, yeah. Because I got all these ingrown hairs and I couldn't get rid of them. I struggled. I would like try to get them out and then it would cause a scab and then another ingrown hair comes in. So I really struggled. And so finally, I think maybe 24, 25, I was like, I'm going to find someone. Oh, I was actually at a hair salon and my hairdresser tells me there's a woman who works out of her house who does hair laser removal. So I'm like, I hit her up. And at that point, it was like very cheap. I mean, I don't know what the prices are going for now, but I'm assuming it's a lot. But I remember she was like, your first 3 sessions are like $400. And then after that, just for maintenance, it was $100. So back then for me, I thought that was like really inexpensive compared to like when you're actually going to somewhere else to get it. It was so much more money. But then I commit to it. And she told me I needed 3 sessions. Girl, I went for like a year and a half. I kept maintenance up for like a year and a half because I was determined. I did not want that issue anymore. And I'm telling you, my friends would make fun of me like, damn girl. I mean, it would come up, my hair would come up to here. That's how much hair I had. So that was like my insecurity growing up in my teenage years. So luckily, alhamdulillah, I resolved that issue.
Alhamdulillah.
TMI, but it's a real thing.
Not at all. I agree with you completely, even with the hair. And I've been doing laser hair removal since high school. And it's just something that when we have an insecurity, like we just don't want to feel that way anymore. So finding something to help in any way and just figuring out what works for you is such a beautiful thing because then you get to be more confident in the world and show up as your best self. So
exactly, that's what we should be striving for, right? Being the best version of ourselves. That's what I always like to think of it. All right, so now take me back a little bit. I know you were majoring in finance. Then eventually you get into strength training. How did you become a coach?
So for me, struggling with weight and body image and just health in general and finding something that worked with me, also with mental health, that was always a struggle for me. It's only that in my senior year in which I went to the gym, I started strength training. I was always into nutrition, but there wasn't that movement aspect in my life. I was just always focused on being the smallest version of myself rather than being healthy. And once I reframed that and I just was like, I just want to be healthy. I just want to be happy. And I no longer focused on shrinking myself or making myself smaller or just purely moving out of a hatred for my body was when it finally clicked for me. And it really just took that mindset shift. So once I fell in love with strength training, this was my senior year of college. And I was too deep into my finance degree to switch it up. So I finished out my finance degree, and then that was in May of 2023. By September of 2023, I started working towards my certification in nutrition and strength training. And then I got certified in March of 2024. And I began working as an online assistant coach in April of 2024 with Shireen Abdulhadi for Built Limitless.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Doing that now.
So prior to you getting into that, like, did you try any like crazy diets to try to help you lose weight? Because I know when we were younger and we struggle with that. So for me, it was the opposite. I was extremely, extremely thin in high school. Like I was like 90 pounds to 100 pounds where I got like made fun of. They're like, oh my God, there was a book called Thinner by Steven Spielberg. I don't know if you know it. Well, it's this guy who gets cursed, and his curse is that he keeps getting to become thinner and thinner and thinner. So they would say, oh my God, like someone cursed you to be thinner, and like my bones would be coming out. But at the same time, obviously I get into college, I start now gaining weight in college. And then even when I look back now at my college body, I would kill for that body now. But back then I was unhappy with this. So I've kind of like always gotten a message to never be happy with your body.
I actually went on my first diet when I was like 11 years old. That is so young. And I want to say from 11 to up until this shift that I was talking about where I just wanted to be healthy, I was on every diet you can name. I don't know if you remember in high school, I was on keto.
Yes, I do remember. I do remember this. You told me about this. Yes, keto. Well, keto was very big in 2018, 2019.
Definitely blew up.
And it was like you had to like keep eating certain.
It's just so much fat and no carbs. And so, yes, definitely experienced my fair share of different diets. Mm-hmm. And if I have one thing to say now with the knowledge that I've learned is the best diet is a diet that is sustainable, that you don't feel like you have to cheat out of, that you don't feel restricted by. Whenever my clients are like, I really enjoy this food, I'm like, eat that food. Keep that food in your diet. If that food brings you joy, it's not a matter of taking it out or we can't eat it or it's a bad food. It's, I'm going to have this food and what can I add to make it more balanced? Right. So you want that pizza, you want whatever food that may scare you to eat or you feel like would make you gain weight, have it. Add maybe a salad on the side, just some greens, some veggies, more fiber, more protein. It's about what you can add so that you can enjoy the things that you like to eat and it's still a balanced diet.
Inshallah, right now I'm starting work in 2 weeks. My plan is every Sunday, I want to start meal prepping. Like I want to take meal prepping very seriously and bring in my food because my biggest issue too, in the house, I can balance it in my house because I control what comes in. But when I'm at work, oh my God, forget about it. It's like a buffet of food and I'm eating with my eyes. I'm not eating with my stomach.
I felt that.
I'll keep eating and then I'm like, oh my God, like what am I, I'm going to, like I feel like sometimes I fill myself up so much I want to throw up. And then I'm lethargic, I'm tired, and the whole spiel that comes with that aspect of overeating.
Right. For something specific like overeating, something that we really like to emphasize is starting with your protein first, because the more protein that you get in your diet, that's the more full that you're going to feel. That's going to prevent the overeating. You're not going to feel like you're craving many things. So in addition to the protein, we want to try to focus on like a balanced plate. At times we overcomplicate it. We don't know what to eat. We don't know how much to eat. So a general guideline is 3 meals a day, maybe 2 snacks in between those meals, but generally 3 meals a day, 30 to 40 grams of protein in each meal, and then a carb, a protein, and a source of fat in each meal. And it's a lot simpler when we break it down like that, because it doesn't allow us to overthink the whole process. It's really easy to just find one source of each and put together something and then eat it. It's really easy to batch cook. So I know you mentioned like meal prepping. If you were to batch cook maybe 2 proteins for the week, maybe chicken and steak or fish or whatever you enjoy. Meal prepping 2 veggies, and then 2 carbs. And then you can remix those. And it's not a super like intricate, lots of ingredients and steps. You just do those 3. And then you can, let's say one day you put it on top of some leafy greens. Another day you put it inside of a wrap. It keeps things fresh. It makes it easy and it sets you up for success because it's already there and ready for you. And you don't have to cook every day. You don't have to clean every day. There's no guesswork. So that's really
you recently posted about the taco bowl, and it looked so freaking good. I was inspired. I was like, head off my husband before you come home. You better bring some sweet potato. I need some lahme.
And how was it?
And I made it. It was delicious. But I didn't make the sauce you made. But I was like, I don't care. It's still good. And let me tell you, I felt like I was full and I had energy. So that's definitely how I felt after having that meal. So now I have sweet potato just like on standby because I'm like, this is a quick meal that I can make.
And it's so easy.
Yeah. But going back, I mean, listen, you're from Halab like I am. And Halabiyin, we're very much into food. Actually, there's a funny saying. I don't know if you ever heard it, if your mom ever told you or your dad ever told you. شام مياتة حمص بناتة وحلب وأكلاتة.
Wait, say one more time. I like that. I'm going to keep that one.
Okay. شام مياتة. Yes. حمص بناتة. And حلب وأكلاتة. So it's like the Sham, if you're from Damascus, Syria, they're known for their water. If you're from Homs, you're known for your beauty. The women, they say they're very beautiful. And if you're from Halab, you're all about the food. It's all about the food. So, I guess you could say I'm biased, but I'm really not that biased. I'm pretty fair. But Halabi, like Syrian food, not only is it the best, but Halabiya food on another level.
I am with you on that. 1,000%.
So with that being said, what are some messages you got as a child about like around food, around body image? Like I was born in Syria. So I know for them, they're always big, like, ما تسمني ما تاكلي كتير خليكي ضعيفة خليكي ناعمة or ناعمة.
Name?
Name.
Name? Is it name like a blessing?
I think no, like
Name,
like soft,
name, like feminine.
like feminine. Yeah, khaliki feminine name. I don't know what we're trying here. We're trying, right? But basically, these are the messages I got, and like I obviously I see my mom, and she really struggled with her weight. She's really thin, or she's overweight, or she's like thin again, or she's gaining weight again. And then I think of the other women in my life. Yeah, I feel like all of them had weight issues to some degree. And I had a mixture of either overweight or underweight. So that's pretty much what it's like. There was no balance. It was either like you were this or you were that. And in all honesty, by the way, I feel like all of them were unhealthy. So it's either one's not eating and getting nutrients, or one's overeating and getting like way too much. So what are messages you got growing up?
Same for me. Exactly that. One thing that I noticed was it was never healthy. Like you mentioned, there was never a balance. And most of all, I never saw the women that I grew up with being happy with, one, the way they ate, and second, the way that they looked.
Yeah.
And they didn't feel the best. The messaging that I always got was just be as skinny and thin as possible at all costs, regardless of how you feel, regardless of what you have to do to get there or to stay fitting a certain jean size.
Yeah.
Just do what you have to do to keep that small frame. And something that I wish that we had gotten growing up was feeding ourselves and fueling ourselves to have energy, to be happy, to enjoy what we ate, but allow ourselves to find a good balance where we're moving well. I also didn't get any messaging about movement.
Right.
It was always about the food and what not to eat, what not to do. And we were never really taught about like macros or what's healthy for you, what is a good balance, how to cook with it either. I don't know about you, but a lot of, we love our foods as halabiyat, but it's a lot of fried stuff, a lot of fats, not a lot of protein, a lot of carbs. So back to it not being very balanced. So something that I wish we had gotten more was just the basic education about nutrition.
Yeah.
That would have been very helpful.
You mentioned the movement aspect. I wonder if part of it was because in the culture, everyone over there is like they're literally walking everywhere. So that's probably culturally already ingrained in society that they have to move and walk to where they're going. So there was no emphasis like go to the gym and work out. Let's pump some iron here, start strength training because that's what you're going to build muscle and build strength. So I wonder if that's part of that culture and how they grew up over there.
I think so as well. And I completely 100% agree with just the lifestyle that we live there as well. And I think that when it comes to the food aspect, another important part is that food is not purely just nutrition, It's culture, it's how we celebrate, it's how we bond. It's a lot more ingrained. Emotional eating is also something. I think that when we look at health and wellness as a whole, we can't just look at it as this is my body and this is what I eat and this is how I move. It's habits, it's stress. And that's where a lot of just education comes in and just learning more to try and do better and focus on what we can do and where our wins are instead of what we're doing wrong.
And I think you bring up a good point is always focus on what you're doing wrong, not necessarily what you're doing right. So, because you're like, oh my God, I'm doing everything wrong. I can't get this together. What is wrong with me? Oh, well, and it's like the subconscious message that we have when we're growing up, like nobody ever being happy with their body. No, just overeating, using food as a tool to kind of like deal with your emotions. I don't know did you watch Sex and the City?
I did. I love it.
When I watched it, there was Miranda. There was a scene where she was trying to like eliminate the chocolate. It was so sweet.
What did she do? She put something on it?
No, she threw it in the garbage. And like she was so in her head, like I have to have this. So she went back into the garbage, got it out and ate the piece of cake. And I connected with that. Like I was like, oh my God, like I feel that struggle because it is a real struggle when you're like, I have to give this up rather than you talked about reframing. And I guess we get into a little bit of that now. I think reframing is so important. But instead of saying, hey, I can't have that, try reframing it like, I can't have that, but I could have it right now, but I know it's not going to serve me. I know it's not going to really be it's not going to help me reach my goal. And that mindset, I can have it, but I don't have to eat it right now.
And also when you do make that reframe, you can allow yourself to have an amount that you're going to enjoy. And then you know that tomorrow's another day. If you want more tomorrow, you can have it. But when it's seen as like this bad thing or something that we just can't eat at all, that's when we get into that all or nothing mindset. And I don't know about you, but personally for me, when I was yo-yo dieting, I was like, okay, I'm going to eat a little bit, and then I would eat more than that little bit. And then I'll be like, ugh, like I'm just going to eat the whole thing. And then tomorrow I'll start fresh. And that's how that cycle keeps going. Whereas if we say, it's okay, I can eat this cake and I'll have this slice. And then if I want some tomorrow, I can have some tomorrow. Why? Because that is the balance. It's not about being 100% clean or eating perfect.
I like to approach it as the 80-20.
Yeah.
Yes, the 80-20 for me is like a thing. As long as I'm having 80% of this, the 20%, whatever. Like I'll do me.
80% of the time, you know you're getting your protein in, you know you're getting your veggies in, you know that you're eating a nutrient-dense diet, so you can go out to dinner and have that meal that you love. You can have that chocolate cake. You can eat the things that you enjoy because you know you're also giving your body the things that it needs. So
now with regards to what message would you have to young girls who are watching this probably right now, who are struggling with the same issues we're talking about? What advice would you have for them?
if I could go back, and even for all the young girls, if there's young girls watching this, I would say to be kind to yourself, to make every decision with love and out of care for your body, rather than being mean to yourself, shaming yourself, telling yourself you're not worthy because you don't look a certain way, telling yourself that if you looked a certain way, you would love yourself more or your life would be better. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't enjoy it or like your body, or at least feel a little happy with yourself while you're on your journey, getting to whatever body you think is going to make you happy, you're going to get to that body and you're still not going to be happy.
Right.
So if you try to do the inner work as well as the outer work of eating well, sleeping well, hydrating, eating high protein, nutritious foods, if you do that inner work as well of slowly saying positive affirmations to yourself, I'm worthy, I'm beautiful, I deserve to live a good, happy life where every day I wake up and I take care of myself, I pour into my own cup. If you do that inner work in addition to the outer work, that is when you'll get to a point of truly being happy. Because if you do it out of toxicity or like toxic motivation, it's not going to stick. And most of all, you're not going to enjoy it. Your day-to-day is going to feel like hell. And nobody wants that.
Right. So, and another point I wanted to add on to that, I think also it's not a quick thing. Like getting to this goal that you have, like it takes people like a year potentially to lose weight sometimes. And that's okay. I think not being so hard on yourself where this transformation isn't happening quickly, because obviously we live in a society where it's all about instant gratification, and you have whatever you think, the thought that you have, whatever you want to buy, you buy that now. Whatever you want to eat, you eat that now. And it's just like learning how to pace yourself. And one of the things that comes to mind right now is the cool part about hunger is you can delay hunger. Yeah, you can actually delay it. Yeah. So that's one of the chemicals in the brain that it can actually quiet down for a little bit. Because think about when you're fasting, right? You're so hungry, but then you continue, it simmers down again. So you can actually calm it down. But of course, at some point you got to eat. So we're not saying here like ignore it for days, girl. No. But typically, if you, let's say, because I get it, I feel like my brain definitely sends me mixed signals where I think I'm hungry, but I'm really not hungry. It's just like I just had something like 2.5 hours ago. So I will essentially try to delay it. Like I'll try to. No, I'm not always successful at it, but I'll try to delay it for like another hour. I'm like, do I have to eat right now? Do I really have to eat right now? So I think that's another factor to consider. I think it's not a quick fix, and understanding the chemicals in the body and how it works.
That is such a great point, in that this is a lifestyle. We can have aesthetic goals. We can want to, maybe if our blood work comes back and something is too high, we can have goals like that. But at the end of the day, this is a lifestyle. Like you want to, like, what's your why? Do you want to be healthy your whole life? Do you want to live a life where it doesn't hurt when you move, where you feel good, you have energy to live your day to day? Because if you're approaching it from that way, it's much easier to zoom out and it's not so strict. There's not so many rules. It's just a matter of moving your body at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes and every day getting in a good amount of protein. And that depends on, your weight, your age, but it really is so much simpler than a lot of the information that we get online. Like online, it's like, you can't eat this, you can't do this movement, you can't do that, don't eat past a certain time, which that's been debunked. It's like, regardless of whatever time you eat, the total amount of calories is essentially what matters.
Right.
So it's more of what do I need and how can I take best care of myself so that I can live my longest, happiest life and move away from having like a deadline for yourself, because that's where the emotions get into it. It's no longer fun. It's no longer taking care of yourself. It becomes kind of working against yourself.
Right. Well, also the religious aspect. Like Muslims, we're actually supposed to, I think, Muhammad said, like, your stomach should be full with like 1/3 food, 1/3 water, and then 1/3 air.
I never heard that before.
Oh, yeah. That's because remember, Islam tells us everything about how we should. It's like literally Islam is like the guide on how to live life. It's like the how to do life.
How to 101.
Yeah, seriously. But it's already set there for us. But of course, culture comes into play and we overeat a lot. And especially, I mean, I don't know how you feel about Ramadan, but like Ramadan for me, I really try to take it seriously in terms of like my food. I don't like to go to a lot of iftar dinners because it's like you go savage mode. I'm like, that's not, I don't want to feel like that. The whole point of me fasting is I'm supposed to connect spiritually. And obviously, we have the soul, the body, the mind. It's like you have to nurture all these things. But I feel like if I go to an iftar, I'm going to be overeating. And then I have to go to the masjid after. You think I'm going to be able to stand and be able to sit there, focus? I need a nap at this point. And then to wake up, I'm probably like, oh my God, time is ticking. I better eat something real quick. So when I was younger, just came to mind right now. There was during Ramadan, I'm like 2 minutes on the clock. So I woke up, I was trying to stuff my face. I stuffed my face so much I ended up throwing up like.
Did that break your fast?
Yeah. My mom was like, you're fine, girl. You're fine. You didn't break your fast. I was like, are you sure?
You're like,
I'm feeling sick.
How old were you?
Oh my God, how old was I? Maybe 16, 17? I don't know. She's like, you're good, girl.
You were like, damn.
But I like legit threw up because I stuffed myself so much. I was so nervous. Like, I'm not going to have enough food to make it through school. But I was like, you're fine, girl. Throw it up and brush your teeth. Get that extra half an hour left that you have before you head to school. And yeah, call it a day.
You did the best you could do.
So now that I share that story, tell me, like, in terms of Ramadan from like your POV, what do you think about it?
So Ramadan is quite a topic when it comes to strength training and nutrition, because typically when you do get into this lifestyle and you change your lifestyle, you're going to have kind of a routine. You're either going to be a person that works out in the morning or after work. So it typically follows the same kind of thing. So when it comes to Ramadan, everything is just flopped upside down. So there's some people that eat before. There's some people that will work out before. And that's what I mean, like eat and work out before. And there's some people that do it right after. So it really just depends on what feels best for you, waking up that early or working out after you just ate. Something that works pretty well is eating a little bit at iftar so that you have some energy. So whether it's a couple dates, just something so that you have in your system some energy, and then doing the best for your workout. But something that is really important with Ramadan is that you're not going to be at your highest strength. Your whole schedule is changing. Your food intake might change a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. And as you mentioned, the whole purpose of Ramadan is connecting spiritually. So focus more on that aspect. And then the gym and being on your regular routine is going to get back onto a regular schedule after that. So focus more on connecting with Allah. Do your best.
I love that. Connect with Allah. Yeah, guys. That's what we need to be doing during Ramadan. Every day, but especially during Ramadan. not eating at a freaking buffet and going crazy. And then you go to masjid and like people are burping up and it's like you smell the garlic. You're like, dude, not the time and place.
To buffet a couple times. You can enjoy. See, that's the thing with life is we're not robots. If we really want to go to a buffet that night, do it, enjoy it. That's not your regular. You know, it's, I don't even want to say like moderation. It's that we're just humans and sometimes we can allow ourselves to not be perfect. But once we get back to our regularly scheduled lifestyle and habits, that doesn't really like matter. It doesn't make an impact. But if you were to flip it and that was your regular to not so much focus on your nutrition and your movement, then that's a completely different story. But when the majority of your, let's break it up into a year, is spent moving your body, eating well, sleeping well, those little moments are not going to make or break you. They're just a part of it, and that's okay. We wake up, we start over the next day, and we just move on.
Tell me about like what was like for you growing up here in the States, knowing that you obviously come from an Islamic household, but then, you know, you're also experiencing everything else at school. So what was that like for you?
It was definitely confusing.
Yes. In what way?
It was two playing fields. It was at home and just all my culture and the way that things are in Amman and Syria and their typical way of living. And then coming here and it's just, it felt like I was wrong in a way because I come from one place and I was in another place like that's very westernized and it kind of felt like there was no culture here. It felt like I was either too much or I didn't quite fit in. And then add on top of that, being a woman, in addition to being from a different culture, that just kind of added onto it even more of not knowing my identity, where I belong, why I'm even here, like what.
Were you born here or were you born in Amman or Suri?
I was born in Patterson.
Shout out to Patterson.
I was born here, so I think that that definitely helped. Growing up, my mom said, نحكي عربي في البيت تحكي إيش ما بدك برا البيت بس جوا البيت تحكي عربي. And that's why I feel like my Arabic is still pretty strong now. So that's always something I'm grateful for. But definitely like a balancing act of where I come from and then trying to forge my path here. But I definitely claim both. I can't say I'm very
Right, yeah, absolutely.
It's part of me. It's where I grew up. So
I think in terms of Arab Americans, we definitely are. We do come from two different places, right? We are Syrian and we also are American, or we are Palestinian, we are American, right? And we had to figure that out because our parents definitely did not understand the struggles we had to face when we're going to school. And, you know, you're looked at differently in terms of like, oh, well, you could tell they're different in some way, right? Like, you know, why are they fasting? Like, why do they have to go to the library during lunch, during Ramadan? Like, immediately that sets you apart from your peers. And then you have to explain to them and then they don't get it. And I know that was more prominent for me growing up. Now it's more accepting. Now it's more normal. Everybody knows about it. Back then when I was growing up here in the 90s, I mean, you kind of had to be low key about where you came from.
do you see a difference now as an adult rather than like for younger girls now in school or?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think definitely like ICPC has grown tremendously. Even just recently, there was it last year, going back to Ramadan, they had like the first bazaar, like a little event. I think it was the last day of Ramadan.
I remember this.
Yeah, they had like a big event and I took my kids. I'm like, I love this. Like we definitely never had this growing up, but I love that the kids can experience that, you know, there is a community out there. You know, when I see my students now, I see them more confident in like I'm Muslim, I'm fasting, like they're not ashamed of it. Back then, we were like, I'm scared to say anything to anyone because they don't understand it, right? Or you're already looked at kind of like a weird person, not from here, so I better not say anything. I'll keep it to myself. Right. But yeah, I definitely have seen a major shift here.
I agree. I've definitely seen more of a celebration of it. Like you mentioned, it's not so much hidden. We celebrate where we come from and we celebrate the fact that we're bringing something new to growing up here. And I think that like shift of going from like hiding and kind of shameful and I'm different and I don't belong to we belong here too And sharing that and celebrating it is just really beautiful to see, because even from when I was in like elementary school versus now, it is so, so different in just how loud we are about it. And I love that because it shows that we're proud,
We're absolutely proud.
as we should be.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting also, the whole beauty standard has changed completely from when I was younger. Like when I was younger, you had to have really, really thin eyebrows. Like having thick eyebrows, which we were naturally born with, was not a thing. And now all the beauty standards have, I don't know if they've taken, but they emulate so much of the Arab woman. Everybody wants this thick, luxurious hair, which we have, many of us have naturally. We have the thick eyebrows, which everybody wants naturally now. We already have that. And I think we were at one point ashamed of that growing up. Where, I mean, I can show you pictures. Maybe if I can find it, I'll, post it in this video. But I really had thin eyebrows, and that was the standard here. Like you couldn't have thick eyebrows. And if you had a unibrow, forget about it. Oh my God. Like you were shamed for that. So, yeah. So it's so crazy because now people want, essentially they see the beauty that an Arab woman carries with her. And now it's kind of the standard. So
I think that growing up, there's only one right way and everything else is wrong. And the right way was just white, thin. And I think as time goes on, people are getting bored of that. We want to celebrate where we come from as Arab women, as women of all color, as Black women. We no longer compare ourselves to the standard because there is no standard. We're all different. We're all beautiful in our own way. And I think that once we got over trying to be something outside of ourselves, that's when we really just started shining, and everybody in their own unique way started to lean even more into who they are and where they come from, rather than trying to assimilate to whiteness. I think it's because the way I see it, we receive a lot of pushback because, I don't know, as an Arab woman, we're like, the stereotype is like very strong, like very aggressive. And I don't like that personally, because, at the end of the day, we're women and we are strong, but don't kind of like push that on us or expect us to endure more or have to go harder. But just because of the way that we've grown up, we've had to go harder. We've had to.
Right. There wasn't a place for us at the table.
Right. So we had to forge that. Exactly.
I think you bring up a good point, because as Arab women, we are boxed into this, like you're aggressive or you're oppressed, right? You have no rights. You don't have an identity. You just follow your husband around as if we're like nobodies. But the reality is we are very strong women, and the world just hasn't seen what we're capable of. And we've been around for a very long time. I mean, Arab women are the first who started the first university. So like you would not have college. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know this.
Let me just confirm this. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna look it up right now.
That's so me. Like, let me just fact check real quick. But I thought universities were created for men.
Fatima, I looked it up. Because we have to fact check to make sure we're giving the right information. But Fatima al-Fahri, and it was in Morocco in 859 AD. So yes, that is who we are. But the world doesn't know about all our history, what we've contributed. I think we're always kind of put into this box, into that, again, you're an oppressed woman, you have no rights, you have no say, and you have to be obedient to your husband. But the reality of it is like, no, we're highly educated women. We run businesses. We're also homemakers. We're the real deal. I mean, get to know us. And that's what this is all about, right? That's why we're having this conversation, where we meet all these different Arab women on the podcast, so we are so diverse. You cannot put any of us into a box.
I love the points that you bring up. And to me, that is one of the most beautiful things, is, again, like how much louder we are getting about it. And I honestly think it's due to the fact that we are able to speak on things now. We don't have to hide. We don't have to use, like a alias or like a fake name. And I think that just comes with feminism and womanism and how that's grown as a whole. So we're all just going together. Like, it was up until like 1970 that women couldn't even have their own bank account.
Right. Well, that's here in the U.S., but like back home, women had the rights and everything.
They had the rights all the time.
Yeah, girl, it's in our religion. And in Islam, we have our rights in Islam.
I'm learning.
I mean, listen, I'm not a sheikh or anything. Oh, don't quote me. Go do your own research.
Do some research.
But I know it. That's what I'm saying. For me, one thing I've always been proud of, I'm definitely like number one thing I'm very proud of is I'm a Muslim. Like, alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim. Because I already have all these rights. Like no disrespect to feminism, but I don't need feminism. Like my religion already gave me my rights. I don't need feminist women. And by the way, I also have like other spiel, because we can go on a whole nother spiel about feminism. I do think they kind of manipulated women in a way that isn't so positive all the time as we may think. Anyway, I don't want to get into the whole feminism talk, but I do think it's not all positive the way we may think. And in some extreme forms of feminism, they don't even want women giving birth. Like they're eventually trying to manipulate the birthing process where like you're a birthing mom, like you're a birthing person. You're not even a mom. Like they want to strip that away from you. And that's to me is extreme feminism. And I don't know what that. So for me, it always goes back to Islam. What does Islam want? What does Islam say about this? And that's pretty much, I mean, I guess we can even talk about, I'm an educator. I'm into research. One of the primary differences between Western research and Eastern research is that let's say in Middle East, when you're doing research, you always go back to the Quran.
Interesting.
Western, they don't go back to they're not going back to the Bible. They're not going back to, their religion to say, what does their religion say about this? They just give you the research. And it's in terms of probability. So it's not in terms of certainty. Whereas for us, the Quran is certain. It's 100%. It's never been changed. That is what it says. And that's why so many scientists, when they start reading the Quran and trying to compare what they found in their studies into what the Quran says, they end up converting to Islam because they're like, oh my God, if this was around so long ago, and these are the literal words of God, then, it's already been set there for you.
I did want to mention one thing in regards to the feminism. To the way I see it is, I think the most important thing is choice.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, that is what's new, because before there was no choice. And I also see like bridging between, you're speaking about Morocco, but in my personal experience, I only have basing it from here,
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like this is what I have grown, like the environment that I've grown up in and learned in, and my perspective, like the way that I approach things, because I don't know any different. And I guess that's one thing that I would love more, is to know more of my roots.
One day we can go to Syria and we can like try. I want to take my kids.
I'm not kidding.
Well, no, I definitely want to go for sure. I want to go just to kind of because one thing, even though I was born there, and my parents brought us back all the time, but every time I went there, I had freaking like 9 aunts, and my dad had a bunch of siblings and cousins and aunts and uncles. It was like one azime to the next azime. You're every other day you're at someomes house eating something. That was it.
Do you know the meme? It's like bus, club, another club.
Another club, another azume. Yes, another azume. That's what it was. Yomuna izmina ilalahon, ila izmina lahon. There was a place called Salora, which, oh my God, I love Salora. Oh my God.
I'm going to need recommendations.
You're still young, obviously. You're educated. You're doing your thing. You're running your business. Tell us, what is the dating scene like? I mean, is there a dating scene in the Arab community?
I can't speak for the Arab community, but the one thing I could say is, me personally, I'm not focused on dating right now. Okay. I'm not focused on marriage right now. The way I see it is my 20s, all the way up until like 29, 30, I am focused 1,000% on me, my business, my career, my education. And if someone comes in that time, I'll think about it, but it's not something I'm looking for. It's not something that is a priority. It's not something I'm keeping front of mind. And I think that that is such a privilege, because everybody in my family by my age was either married or had children.
Right.
And for me to be the first that has the privilege to choose not, I'm running with it.
So now how does your mom handle that? Like, is she okay with it?
I feel like we haven't gotten to that, just because both my parents see how involved and busy and ambitious I am. And they see that I'm happy. Like every day I'm laughing, I'm smiling, I'm doing what I love. I'm showing them the content I'm creating. I'm talking about all these like nutrition facts and just like, guess how much weight I pushed today at the gym. And they see that I'm happy. And I think that as parents, that's all they want.
Right. Well, you do a really good job at the gym, by the way. I watch your video. I'm like, she's strong, man. I wish I could do that. Now, tell me, you started a YouTube channel too now. Okay, so tell me more about that.
So the YouTube channel, I wanted to, because Instagram and TikTok are very short form. You can speak on there, but it is little blips and snippets. Right. Exactly. And I wanted to, for my YouTube, have it for two things. One is podcasts. So like podcast episode, but also upload it on my YouTube so that I can go really deep into a topic and speak more in depth and really just connect, kind of like how we're talking now. Like,
Yeah, of course. Having real meaningful conversations.
right. And I feel like you can't really dive too deep on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
So that's the one end of it. And then the other end of it is to document. So it's like a personal aspect of my YouTube is just document my journey of everything, of my personal goals, of my professional goals. And there's two goals with that. Is the first is to have something for me to look back on and just have it there, make it cute, edit it, and just see like a highlight of important moments in my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the learning, just everything, and watch how I grow. And then the other goal is to inspire, because I know that we were speaking about this before, like, how is it for you to grow up from here and from there, not really knowing like where you're from and how that was growing up. And I am so grateful that I grew up during a time where I had technology and the internet, and I can find women online to show me all the possibilities of the life that I can create. It really just opened up my mind, because in my day-to-day, I didn't see a lot of it. I didn't have any idea the things that I could accomplish or even want to do in this life. And so in the same way that so many women inspire me online, and just seeing the lives that they created for themselves it just lights me up. And it's like, if they could do it, I could do it too. If they could have it, that means the sky's the limit for me, because why not? So I really want to just show the process from start. Like right now, I am doing what I love, but I see so much bigger and so much more for myself. And I just think if I'm inspired by me, I know that I can inspire others.
So I could tell like you're a person who definitely like goes after what makes you feel good, and that's awesome. Essentially, that's what we should all be doing. Like, just if you find joy in something, everything else just falls into place. Instead of getting stuck at a job you're really unhappy with and uninspired by, rather focus on something that really kind of brings you joy.
At the end of the day, you're going to have to work hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether you're in a job that you enjoy or not, you're going to have to bust your ass, pardon my French, but you're going to have to, it's going to take your energy. So I would rather work hard for something that lights me up.
Right.
And something that is going to do good for the world. There's some people that can go to work and just get that paycheck, and then they live the rest of their life.
That's intent, yeah.
Right. And that's okay. But for me personally, I'm very connected with my work, and I want to make a difference in this world. And it's not enough for me to just do a job that pays me and then have fun with it and buy what I want. That's nice. But purpose and meaning are so big to me. And, the least I could do is try.
So let's go. We're going to have a little fun here with you, because we're from Halab, right? You said last time you were there. When were you there last time? You did kindergarten? Kindergarten. Wow, that's a long time ago, girl. Long time ago. I'm sure. Well, listen, I think last time I was there was 2010. I just know when I got here, 6 months later, the war started.
Oh, you just made it.
I literally I went by myself. My mom sent me by myself. I went there, and I went to Egypt. And because this is like, I think I was like 25, 26. I'm like, this is it. I want to start traveling. Yeah, I took a solo trip, girl. I don't play. Yeah.
In 2010?
Yeah. I started, I think, when I was traveling maybe 2008. I was like, I'm gonna go to Egypt. Then I went to Dubai, and I met my cousins I'd never met before in my life, and we're very close to this very day. Subhanallah, yani. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, you're my cousin. It's so crazy.
Oh.
Yeah. And then and that's how we connected. And I just wanted to explore. And I think maybe if I look back at that time, I was looking for something meaning. You know, I'm just like, I'm tired of this. I don't know what I'm in here, but home for me has always been the Middle East. Like I've always just felt so good at the Middle East. As soon as like I land in the Middle East, there's a comfort I feel. Like from the people, from where I am. So eventually I traveled. I told my dad, I'm like, please, you know, I was working my master's program. And I said, Bubba, I really like want to just travel. Let me just go. And I went and I met, and he hit up like his cousins. He's like, my daughter's going to be in Dubai and come see her. And I met them and we had a blast. Like I had such a good time. And that's also when I realized I'm like, oh, wow, people are here. They're smart. Like when you say educate, I mean, your high school students over there are equivalent to having a college degree from the kids here. Like they're smart. And a lot of their conversations, like they're talking about Picasso and like the art. I'm like, ultimately, yeah, I came back inspired from those trips. And I remember for like 6 months, I didn't see any of my friends. I didn't like, I was like, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to read. So I would go to work in the morning. I would come home and I had myself on a schedule. Like from 4 to 5, you're going to read about Greek mythology. From like 6 to 7, you're going to read about history. I swear to God, this is what I did.
Inspired you to do this.
Because I was involved in conversations that I had no idea what these people were talking about. This is where I remember what was it? I'm in Carthage. I learned about Hannibal. So I'm reading. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, since I'm a teacher, I have access to textbooks. I started reading textbooks, right? And I'm like, oh, Hannibal says like Rome's greatest enemy, but that's all they said about him. And I'm like, well, the Hannibal that I know is like only in the movie that he looks like a freaking crazy, like he's a crazy freaking lunatic. That you remember the movie Hannibal, right? That's the image I have of Hannibal. But I'm like, who's this Hannibal that's like the greatest enemy of Rome? So then I get into that, and then I discovered it's modern day Tunisia. Like Carthage is modern day Tunisia. This is a man who is known as the best in the world. I think to this very day, the best strategist in the world, the best strategist in the world. And the reason he was their greatest enemy was because they had more people in their army. He had less people, but the way he was strategized, like how they were going to attack, he would win every battle. And eventually Rome would win only by copying his strategy. So
The way that they reframed things.
But yeah, so I'm like, oh, this is my kind of guy. So the more I read about him, and I'm like, I love this man. This is the freaking greatest strategist to ever live. I'm like, this guy's my hero. And on top of that, he's from an area that I'm from. Like, how crazy! I mean, I guess they would consider themselves Arabs, but they're North African. But you know, we're all the same in the Middle East. Like, I mean, obviously we're very diverse, but it's in the same area, so we get the culture, we get that aspect of it. And I was so inspired by that, and then I kept wanting to learn. And I was very big on education, and I was always hungry for it. So I like forced myself. Yeah, I didn't hang out with any of my friends for 6 months. They would be like, "You want to go to the club?" I'm like, "Nope, I don't want to go to the club. Nope, I don't." Yeah, I would be busy. I would say no to everything, and I just sat there and I just read. I read on critical thinking. So I like self-taught myself, even though, yes, I had already graduated college. I was in my master's program, but I still didn't feel like I really had a good, solid education. So that was part of that experience of traveling. That's why I always recommend if you can travel and connect with your roots in any way, whether it's through family. I used to ask my family a lot of questions, like, how did you grow up? What was it like here? And yeah, and I felt like all the friends they introduced me to were just definitely, they had way more knowledge than I did. So that's what inspired, I guess, you could say the first awakening that I had in my life.
I think what separates you is that hunger for information and knowledge is from like deep inside of you. Like you can't learn that. You can't, nobody can give it to you. You just have to be that way. And I feel like that is one of the greatest blessings in life, is to just have that hunger for knowledge and experience, and then go after it and get it. Like,
and that's why now I have like this hunger of like, I want to talk to my people. I want to see what their experience is like, and I want to put it out there to help our community, you know? So definitely it's a good blessing. Alhamdulillah. That's all I can say, because then I was equipped with knowledge and I kept learning. Now I always want to learn. Like I consider myself what they call a philomath. It's like a word on philosophy and math, which is a person who has a love for learning. And I'm definitely a philomath. Ultimately, my message is to drive home that travel. I think the best education you get is from traveling to different countries and immersing yourself into their world to see how these people function. How do they live? Because oftentimes hear what you're taught about other groups around the world isn't true. Like that's how I feel. Like this is again, my personal opinion.
I think it's because, especially here in the US, everything is very individualistic. But outside of it, when you travel and you go to just see the way that other people are living, you realize that what people crave so much is connection.
Yes.
And just seeing ourselves in one another and how we're similar rather than how we're different.
No.
So I definitely agree on just going to as many places as you can. Like, that's something for me that is number one
on your bucket list.
Exactly. Like, I just want to explore the world. We're on this earth. I want to keep moving and not just stay in one place.
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
expose myself. And as you mentioned before, like, just experience and travel, like, that's the best teacher.
Yeah, it really is.
All the books that you want. But at the end of the day, real life, in person, sitting in it, experiencing it,
Yeah.
like, there's nothing that even matches to that.
But I think it's really important that, yeah, you get different aspects. So yeah, books are important, but it's also real lived experience is also very important. So anyway, let's transition from this. And I want to do a little fun thing with you. Since we're both from Halab, I want to see if we can talk for at least 2 minutes in Arabic. You're probably gonna do better than I am, but if your mom forced you to talk Arabic, I don't know. I think you may end up doing better than I will. All right. So احكي لنا عن حالك. شو أخبارك؟
اسمي نادين.
هاي نادين. أهلين. شو؟ الحمد لله الحمد لله.
الحمد لله. اليوم قعدنا وحكينا عن كل شيء. حكينا عن الأكل والرياضة.
Oh, رياضة. I haven't heard that word in a long time. Oh, I messed up. Oh, snap. You won. No, you won. Okay. خليني أسألك سؤال. شو الأكلة أمك بتعملها بتحبيها؟
أمي فلسطينية.
أهلا وسهلا.
أكلة أمي بتعملها كتير بحبها اليبرة.
يس يبرة. يس.
عنده أكتر من اسم، بس البواغي نفساتي أول واحد لإلي. و كتير بحب المحشي.
يس أنا بحب محشي كمان.
وشيخ المحشي. تعرفي
يس شيخ المحشي. يب.
مع لبن وبتحط لي الفستق. بعرفش كيف أحكي في العربي النوع الفستق.
يا وأنا كمان ما بعرفه شو اسمه.
آسف but yeah that one.
وشو كمان أنا بتذكر وكنت في سوريا كان على طول نروح هذا مو بس ناقص كازوزا حمراء، في كان جنبها في أوقات نروح المحل يعمل سندويشات، وهالسندويشات بحطوا فيها والخبزة كانت هيك طويلة وبالآخر إلى بوينت. لا هي الخبزة عادي بس خبزة يحطوها بالماشين البريس، وكان يحطوه في الرز جواتها وجبنة والبيكل المخلل حطوها بعد يحطوها هي يخبزوها. لا مو يحطوها بالبانيني. We're trying. What's the word? What's the Arabic word? كان يكبسها
press like I don't know. لا بس في العربي كمان بنادوا الخبزة كاكي.
لا بس عادي هي ماشي عم نحكي على العربي بنحكي هي that's what the focus is.
بعدهم سندويشة عليها سمسم
ايه
وجواها فلافل وحمص وبعرف ايش اخضر وفلفل.
يس هاد محل بلدنا. في محل بلدنا البيكري عندهم سندويش هيك you describe.
هذا من وين ماما كانت في عمان.
اوكي
بس بلدنا عنده هنا كمان. هذا ليش بنحب باترسون؟ عشان باترسون الهون. what do you call مش باترسون؟ Patterson.
You're right. It's just...
I'm crying.
This is so fun.
I love this.
باترسون أهلا باترسون كيفكن يا باترسون؟ احكوا لنا عن حالكم. أنا باترسون كثير بحب باترسون.
Oh my god.
Okay, I think we did a good job. Bravo, yay. Oh my god, I should do that all the time. That's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny because my Arabic I always forget it, but the last time I go to Syria بتلاقيني 3 أيام بكون هنيك خلاص بصير قرارة. I can't speak English.
I'm just
بنسى الأجنبي بنسى الأجنبي أجنبي مين؟ لا يا حبيبتي لا يا حبيبتي شو يعني؟ All right, Nadine, that was awesome. I had so much fun. So now we start the segment called Yalla, Let's Pop. And what that is I'm going to hand you over a soda here, a Kazouza Hamra. So let me get this one here. I'm going to get you a little bottle opener. So I got this for my friend Perla's wedding. I think almost like 9 years ago at this point.
How does this work?
So yeah, like where the L is, you just pop the bottle open. All right, let's pop it open. Put it in the mic so people can see hear the soda pop. Bismillah, bismillah, bismillah. 3, 2, 1. Bismillah. Yay!
Not working. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, don't be sorry, girl. I love your nails, by the way. Your nails look so pretty.
Glamnetic.
I know. Listen, I'm all about glam. Don't mind my nails, by the way, guys. Oh my God, I gotta do them. But yes, I have a doctor's appointment today. I have to get a CAT scan for my nose because apparently I have a deviated septum. So they told, like the recording said I can't wear like any type of like just certain gel nails. And I got nervous. I'm like, what if the chemical is in the glamnetic nail that I shouldn't be having? So I'm just like, I'm just going to do them later. Anyway, so I hit you with a series of little questions and you answer them, right? Let's see what, and this is the Halab edition, by the way. I created it where it's like a little Halab edition. Let me grab my tablet. Okay, so Nancy Ajram or Haifa Wahbi?
Nancy Ajram.
How many types of kibbeh do you know for Halabiya? You know, we have a lot.
Name them, girl. Name them. I don't know a lot of kibbeh, but الوحدة الفلسطينية.
Okay, so kibbeh siniyة, kibbeh safarjaliyة, kibbeh
كبنية.
kibbeh mishwiyة. I feel I don't even know all of them. No, but we have from where we're from at least probably 80 maybe I've heard. Like definitely over 70, but I think it's about 80 different types of dishes.
This is
like
new
kibbeh.
information.
Yeah. Kibbeh safarjaliyة, kibbeh labaniyة. Oh my God, kibbeh labaniyة. Oh my God, it's one of my favorite dishes. I love that.
Delicious.
Okay. What is your biggest red flag in an Arab guy?
The like manish. Like they want to be the leader so bad, but no emotional intelligence. I'm gonna go with that one. Just no, not connected to the emotions at all.
Okay. What is your favorite Arabic song of all time?
I had two. أول واحدة. Am I still speaking Arabic?
However you want to say. بالعربي بالإنجليزي بالفرنساوي اسبانيوري عادي.
We'll do all of them. بحب شكشكشو.
Oh, that's a good one. Yes. Coffee or tea? Or Arabic coffee? Or, yeah, I'm both too. Okay. I want you to say watermelon in Arabic.
بطيخ.
No, then you're not Halabiya, girl. Halabiya don't say it that way.
Wait. What does Bobo call it?
You better call your dad right now. Ask him how you say watermelon.
You really want me to call him?
You think I'll
He might. Bobo.
Yeah, why not? I'll say hi.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Isn't he traveling?
He is. Let's see the time difference. I don't know.
All right. So we called Mr. Babensi. Mr. Babensi didn't answer. And how you say watermelon is jabase.
Jabase.
Yeah, jabase.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Shout out to Halabiyin. I love my Halabiyas. Okay, what is the one quality Mr. Khalas has to have?
One quality, Mr. Khalas.
Yeah, like your Khalas. This is the guy you're gonna like.
The emotional intelligence.
Yeah, emotional intelligence is big. Yeah, absolutely. One Arabic word you use a lot.
Yalla.
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 Yes, yalla. All right, if your life was made into a book, what would the title be?
I feel like I would call it growth.
Okay. I was gonna say going hard.
Go hard.
Go hard to everything.
I love that. Thank you.
All right. If you had one Kazouza flavor to drink for the rest of your life, which flavor would it be?
So I do not drink a lot of Kazouza. Sometimes I'll have a Diet Coke. I stick to seltzer and water. But if I had one, it would be Vinto.
Oh, yes.
I love Vinto. And there's nothing else that really tastes like it.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Listen, again, I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. If you have any comments, let us know below and let people know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok at Nadebabe, NAADEBABE. And my YouTube is Nadine Babinsir.
No, it's Nadine Babinsir. I love it. All right, guys. Until next time. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and interact with the content, because everything we're doing here is to really help Palestine right now, because they really, really do need us. So 20% of all earnings on YouTube is going to them through an organization. And yeah, just make sure we're all playing our part here. So until next time, I'll see you next episode. Bye. Or if we go a little bit, bye.